In case you're unaware, Yes Theory is a YouTube channel with over 5 million subscribers. Recently, they posted the following video, which garnered nearly 1 million views in the first day.
Matt decided to go on a vegan diet for a full 30 days to answer a few questions. How difficult will it be to change? How will his energy be affected? And will he decide to continue this vegan diet after the 30-day trial?
We're going to see where your deficiencies currently are on your past diet, implement the vegan diet, and see how much of an improvement we can get.
Amazing.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Nice. Matt is getting some blood work done so we can see where his markers are relative to his usual diet. Hopefully he's going to eat a healthful, predominantly whole foods diet. If he goes for a more junky vegan diet, then possibly we won't see much in the way of improvements. Hopefully he does it right, which will show positive results in his blood work, upsetting Sverige and Co.
Your red blood cells being a little bit low at 4.29, one of the big things we want to see here is where do you get great sources of heme and iron from?
You won't be getting any heme iron no matter what type of vegan diet he eats because heme iron is animal based. This is a good thing as our bodies can't regulate the absorption of heme iron very well. Get too much, we create hydroxyl radicals which create havoc throughout the body.
Kind of the big one that people are concerned about when they're switching to a vegan diet is their vitamin B12. And prior to switching, your levels still aren't optimal.
A non-vegan with low B12 status? Who'd have thunk it? Actually, around 38% of Americans are reckoned to have low B12 status, so it's a nutrient of concern for everyone.
Rich greens, spirulina, great sources of B12.
Wow, is this meant to be some kind of nutritionist? Spirulina does not contain B12. It has a B12 analog, which while looking very similar to B12 and fitting the same receptor, does nothing for our body. What it does do, however, is blocks the actual B12 that we may be getting from working. Terrible advice. Until recently, we thought that B12 was not present in the plant kingdom. It's since been discovered, however, that there are indeed plants with B12, one of which, the water lentil, aka duckweed, is already in the food chain. Sorry, anti-vegans.
But really, truly, we can improve all of these numbers with the vegan diet.
Amazing. I want to see all that green when I come back.
Me too. Now do it right.
No bad grades.
No bad grades.
Blood work is done. Now time to get on this diet and do it right.
Good man.
Starting today, I'm going vegan. I tried to go vegan a year ago. I tried for 6 days, and by the end of the 6 days, I was completely and utterly exhausted.
I can pretty much guarantee you for him to feel that bad that soon, he was under eating calories. If you're eating predominantly healthy whole plant foods, then it is very easy to undereat if you're not careful, just as it's very easy to overeat if you eat any other types of food. Anytime that you start a new diet, use an app such as Chronometer and just check that you are in fact eating adequately.
I hadn't had no experts, nobody that was actually vegan tell me how to do it. So what I've done is I've gathered several experts, athletes, nutritionists, doctors, to help me throughout this process.
Nice. I must say, I like the cut of your jib, sir.
Matt, thank you again for coming.
Yeah, thanks for
It's
having
good
me.
to have you here. Have you noticed differences in how people react to a vegan diet?
It's really what you're eating, and we like to say whole foods, plant-based, fruits, vegetables, whole grains and starchy vegetables, legumes, and then some nuts and seeds.
I like this guy.
And obviously the question that every single vegan gets is how do you get enough protein?
I like to put it like this. Where did your protein get its protein from in the first place? From eating lots of whole plant foods. Eating meat for protein is a bit like eating mud because you're after the water. You really don't want all the that comes with it.
Here we go.
Theft by consumption. Sorry everyone, I forgot where I was for a minute. I used to be a security guard in a shopping mall. Paul Kerton, plant-based mole cop.
Beautiful.
Show me.
That's a shame. He started out so well, but then he grabbed olive oil, which is very processed, one of the very worst things a vegan can eat, in fact, and also some other processed packaged goods. I even saw pizza, which will very likely have coconut oil in the cheese. Coconut oil contains high amounts of the long and very long chain triglycerides associated with heart disease. Not as bad as butter, but actually worse for you than beef fat.
This is Matt's breakfast, ladies and gentlemen. Got 2 nice little nutritional bars, some seaweed.
Unfortunately, these made good bars contain agave nectar, cane sugar, and brown syrup, all unhealthy refined sugars. Also sunflower oil, again, all refined oils are bad. And cocoa butter, which similarly to coconut oil, raises serum, LDL, and heart attack risk. The seaweed, although essential because we want iodine, would have been fried.
Dried mangoes, lots of almonds, apple, banana. I'm like literally trying to load up as much as I can.
The rest of the food is very healthy and extremely energy dense, so at least that's not going to be a problem.
Bean and rice burrito. Time to munch on this Justin Bieber style, baby. The snacks and the lunches and the dinners are all so tasty. The one thing about this is just like, I feel like I'm constantly thinking about food and what I need to consume. It's like almost like a job to make sure that you're on top of your nutrition. And I hope that this is just temporary, because if it's always like this and you always have to think about what you're eating next and all of that, then it's just like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't take long to get your head around. According to the science, the average vegan, mostly junk food eating vegans, by the way, will be short on 4 nutrients, whereas an omnivorous eater typically is short on 9 nutrients. So most people would, do well to pay a bit more care on what they're putting in their mouths.
So I was watching Taco Bell commercial, and I was like, I kind of want Taco Bell. Like, obviously I can't have Taco Bell. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but I don't want to. I wanted to recreate it just using plants, so...
What the hell?
So then you get that.
So good.
That's incredible.
And then you just douse. And the guacamole is like, come on. Really? After you eat it, you're like, oh wow, I feel kind of amazing.
I think that is the best part, actually. After you eat, you don't feel like you need to take a 2-hour nap. If it's super hard.
Every single bite.
Oh my God.
Matt looks to be really enjoying his new food. He says his energy is better after eating. Nice.
At this point, I felt really good, and I was happy with everything I'd heard from my new vegan friends.
Yeah, so nice meeting you.
But now I wanted to get a perspective from someone who didn't believe that a vegan diet was the best diet to follow. And so the next day, I sat down to talk with Max Lugavere.
Is Max a scientist, nutritionist, dietitian, or doctor? None of the above. He is a journalist. Ow.
You got started nutrition unexpectedly, like.
Correct. Yeah, I was a journalist and my mom got sick. She, at a very young age, developed the earliest symptoms of dementia. It sent me down the rabbit hole to try to understand why this would have happened to a woman in her age.
You would do well to look up Drs. Dean and Aisha Shirazai. They are making some incredible inroads into preventing and even reversing dementia with a whole foods plant-based diet.
Started reading study after study after study.
Excellent. The best thing that anyone can do is to base their diet on the best available balance of evidence. This is just common sense.
In a nutshell, I've had a tremendous amount of exposure to this topic.
Is there anything that stuck out immediately that you were like, wow?
The standard American diet is poison. It involves 60% of your calories coming from ultra-processed foods.
Plus tons of heart attack inducing animal foods and only 6% whole plant foods.
A vegan diet, a plant-based diet, is one way, but it's not the only way. Incorporating properly raised animal products can be perfectly healthy.
Pardon my ignorance, but where is the study which shows that although the sat, fat, trans fats and cholesterol of conventionally raised dead bodies kills us, the sat, fat, trans fats and cholesterol magically becomes healthful if the animal is treated a little bit better during their life, but then brutally killed in the same slaughterhouse anyway. Come on, Mr. Evidence.
We have nutrients that are called micronutrients. And I think when you look at the micronutrients that are offered in animal foods, I think they're invaluable to the body because they're already sort of in a plug-and-play format, ready to be utilized by the body.
Nice bit of conjecture there, but the fact remains that vegans have, on average, better micronutrient status than non-vegans. All my blood work for vitamins and minerals I always test at the top of range on my whole foods plant-based diet. Think about it. Where did the animals get these precursors to form these nutrients from? From plants. Now, it may have escaped your notice, but humans are a type of animal. Think of us as hairless apes. No, we do not need preformed animal nutrients. In fact, we should avoid them. Cholesterol promotes heart disease, arachidonic acid is hugely pro-inflammatory, and retinol and hemine are toxic in high doses. Preformed animal nutrients oftentimes lead to disease, while the plant precursors seldom can.
Dude, the thing is, how do you even choose? Just like there's a new book, there's a new documentary, there's a new thing coming out every 2 seconds. But it does seem like the consensus is plants are good. Yeah, that's the consensus. But the fact that it's anything to an extreme may not be the right answer for most people.
There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all diet.
Of course not. Just look at lions. There are vegan lions, vegetarian lions, pescatarian and flexitarian lions. Get the out of here with all that noise. By and large, the range of foods that's healthiest for any given species is very usually quite narrow, except in the case of obligate omnivores. I think that people's main stumbling block is when they've messed up their gut health by eating incorrectly, generally for, years and years on end. And then they finally switch to a healthy, whole foods, plant-based diet. They're putting in the healthiest foods in the world and getting all kinds of problems. The gut needs testing to ascertain the problem, and then it needs to be appropriately treated. Of course, without any of that knowledge, the person thinks, oh, this diet is obviously not right for my body. Newsflash, if you can't put fruits and vegetables into your gut without it falling apart, there is something very, very, very wrong. Get it tested.
From day 16 to day 26, I went traveling. And even though continuing with the vegan challenge while traveling was hard, it was actually pretty doable.
That's good to hear. Previously, an objection I'd hear a lot is that it's hard to be vegan while traveling. Depends on exactly where in the world you are, of course, but to most people nowadays, if you're saying that you're struggling to eat vegan while traveling, I say, not really trying very hard, are you?
And by the time I came back, I was luckily able to sit down with the main person who inspired me to take on this challenge, James Wilkes, the producer and protagonist of the hit documentary Game Changers. A little over a month ago is when I first saw Game Changers. Well done, man. It was so well done.
Yeah, so much.
Everybody's talking about it,
Yeah, it's crazy. On some days we'll have 500,000 people just going to the recipe page on our website. If you look at the World Health Organization or the FAO, they're all saying now to eat a diet that's predominantly plant.
Amazing. I mean, that totally makes sense.
Yep, all the leading nutrition authorities in the world are saying to smash in the whole plant foods and cut down on animal products. Are you listening, you little carnivore crowd?
Great guy. And everything you said makes sense. Yeah. Everybody I've talked to is so nice, and it literally makes so much sense every time. All right, time to get the blood results.
How are you?
I'm good. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are we looking positive?
Positive?
Your vitamin B12 actually improved.
That's very odd. Sverige says that supplemental B12 doesn't work. Mind you, he can barely spell the word science.
We actually saw a pretty sharp increase of your total testosterone.
Not surprising, the couple of studies I've seen over on nutritionfacts.org showed vegans to have better testosterone.
Whether or not the vegan diet is right for you, I'd say this is a huge positive benefit. Your TSH or your thyroid actually improved. Your T4 looks superior as well.
So pretty much all the systems of his body are running better.
You've actually decreased the amount of good cholesterol that you have.
If this young lady was up to date with the science, she'd be aware that we now know through interventional trials that HDL is not protective. The association is not causal. An analogy would be that while the more ashtrays a person owns, the more likely they may get lung cancer throughout their lifetime. Merely taking one of them away, or even the whole lot, will not lower their risk.
Your protein levels look actually even better.
Again, this is in line with studies cited by nutritionfacts.org.
Your total iron actually improved with the vegan diet.
That's actually crazy.
You're a phenomenon at this point.
That especially was the number one thing I was worried about.
Yeah, your iron looks even better.
Guys, please share this video with the likes of Sean Baker, Frank Tofano and Sverige. Thyroid function, testosterone, B12, protein, iron, all boosted on an appropriately planned whole foods vegan diet. Not like the former diets of the army of moronic ex-vegans featured on Sferridge's Epitome of Malnutrition series.
Wow.
Yeah. You know, of everything, plant-based is best for you. Or a vegan diet is best for you.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
I did not expect the results to be that good. It's actually quite shocking. I kind of feel like I don't have a choice but to go majority plant-based now.
Great stuff. So this guy went in with an open mind, actually tried it for himself, and has data from before and after to inform him on what is the healthiest diet.
The results were better after they were before, and I was already eating so healthy. I think I'll still have some animal product once in a while, but mostly plant-based.
That's fantastic. Well done, Matt. Hopefully, over time, like me, he'll fall in love with feeling great and ditch the rest of the animal products. Or maybe he'll become more exposed to the ethical and environmental arguments. You know, the animals, the planet, they haven't got time for half measures. Credit where credit's due though, Matt is doing way better than the vast majority of the rest of humanity. Now click this.